I pressed start. Hi.
Well done. I'm proud of you.
I guess we all have to introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Moikoi. I like koi fish. And yeah, I actually love drama.
Okay, my name is One of the Infinite, and Def sounds pretty good. I mean,
I agree.
I don't really see any complaints. I don't see any, like, 0 stars on Def on Yelp, so.
Next.
Is that me?
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, that's Basilisk. She's pretty cool.
Thank you.
And then we
According
have
to Google.
Chloe, who is just lurking.
I'm not sure why I'm here. I've been tied to an armchair. Please save me.
Alright, I'm gonna...
You're not getting out of this alive.
She's joking, but we just let, like, somebody die, and now we're all in trouble.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about writscrib, because that seems like a pretty cool site that's coming out.
Yep.
A place where you can go and draw art and not be harassed for it.
For those in the audience, writscrib is basically a Tumblr alternative to hopefully escape from the pain and torment that is prevalent throughout the Tumblies.
Yes. The tumblies.
The Tumbles.
Like some sort of like ancient way of calling it a disease. It's like instead of giving someone the vapors, you're giving them the tumblies.
What's wrong, Jedediah?
I'm afraid Ma has the tumblies.
Exactly.
How long's she gonna last?
Not very long, Jedediah Jr.
Oh my gosh.
That was the best thing I've ever heard.
So yeah, basically, since this is being recorded, I don't know where you're gonna upload it at. Writscrib, or writscrib, because I've been saying it wrong this entire time, is basically Tumblr is toxic, not just for basically everyone, and writscrib is kind of like like it's like Superman. It represents hope, where it essentially could have people, creatives especially, not have to deal with Tumblr shit, which is call-out culture, baseless accusations of calling everybody like a rapist, pedophile, and just have people that, and with the bonus side of potentially making money via chips, in monetary things, which count for real money, 10 cents USD. So that's the thing, and they're like, from what I remember last time, the chips are gonna have they're gonna be worth 10 cents, but to buy them, a little bit of that money is gonna go to in order to support the website.
It's like a
So-
weapon, isn't it?
Which I think is good
Yeah.
that it has a bit of a tax, because that'll, I think, relying on the user base is a lot better than relying on ads, I think, as you said earlier, or someone else said earlier.
Oh yeah, it's earlier because when you have to depend on advertisers, you end up with the whole, like, I don't know how many people are aware of this, but the whole adpocalypse on YouTube is basically advertisers don't want to be associated with problematic content, so they pull their ads away from YouTube, which causes them to lose money. But with this model, hopefully, you have be an independent website that doesn't have to rely or connect to advertiser codes of, basic bitch assness.
I mean, there aren't going to be no ads, but at the same time, it's just good that they're not only relying on that.
Well, I
Oh, yeah.
believe that Wolf was saying the ads are optional as well.
That's good. So it's kind of like support.
That's gonna be like an end user thing. Like, you don't have to view them if you don't want to.
Like, they're not going to make you pay to not have ads. It's just if you want to support the website, and that way you can turn on ads.
Oh, I'm actually for paying to, like, direct support to writscrib.
I am too.
I don't know.
I do that.
Yeah, Wolf just doesn't want to make it one of those kind of websites. He wants to try and avoid making people pay for a good experience on writscrib.
But just, like, have an option. Like, you don't have to get rid of the ads. Like, it's just because Newgrounds does that.
So Just real quick, what kind of artist is everyone here?
I am.
Because I do film, I do art, like drawing, writing, voice acting, that kind of thing.
Okay, general. What I do mostly is just digital 2D art, fan art, fluff, cheesecake. Which is, if you don't know what cheesecake is, kid, that's like the regular pinup art you see.
Oh, okay.
And anything that I'm bored, I do it. I don't really make a living off of it. It's just a hobby.
Okay.
I like to sew. I make plushies and some clothes stuff. I like making candles, and I make AMVs, or at least I try to. I've never finished one.
Same.
AMVs or what?
Anime music videos.
AMV.
Okay. With your own art or like other?
I make it with like the actual clips from the shows and such.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like putting scenes to music.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really fun to edit that kind of stuff. I just wanted to know, because I wanted to discuss some like film stuff in case anyone is interested.
I'm pretty
I'm
interested, yeah.
Alright.
Well,
I'm mainly
I do want to get into animation, so that's film.
Okay, so let me think here, because I know that there was a I don't want to copy someone else's podcast, but it's a very good discussion piece. That's why I want to talk about it. Is there was something called Chronexia? Have any of you heard of Mystique Chronexia?
No,
Okay, so he's this
I have
guy
not.
who does top 5, top 10 countdowns of like anime. And he's like, oh, top 5 revealing scenes, top 10 waifus, that kind of thing.
Anime betrayals.
But so he wrote this book called The 8 Seals of Chronexia. I believe that's what it's called. And the studio came to him and said, hey, we want to do an animation on it. So he got basically his own anime. And let me see if I can find the.
Which studio?
They're a very amateur studio. I'll have to go find that real quick. But it Chronexia. Oh
Hello,
boy.
you got JB. This is writscrib podcast. Just anybody comes in and comes out, like your fathers, in and out of your lives. You don't know when.
Alright, here is
Whoa.
the video for that first episode of Chronexia. It's meant to be serious, meant to be an actual serious thing. And I want to know your
Okay,
guys' thoughts on it. So I'll pause the podcast real quick. I think that it is decent, but their biggest issue was their conflicting styles.
It's basically it's just the problem is it's very cliche.
Okay.
And
Do you know who Mystique Chronexia is?
no.
Okay, so he's this top 5, top 10 anime guy who's like, oh, top 10 fight scenes, top 5 waifus, that type of thing. He wrote the book for this. This amateur animation studio came to him and said, hey, can we animate your book? And he said, okay.
Like guys, like this is like what you do when one guy is first starting out. Have you ever heard of Jazza? Like I know I sound like an old fogey, but I've seen so much better stuff on Newgrounds over the years, you know? It's like, oh.
The problem I have with it is, and you can really see it in the fight scene. We commented on it together, but the fact that it looks like it was just different, like, action scenes were traced from different animes, where they just kind of liked how it looked, and so they copied the style, and so it changes back and forth a lot.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, man.
You do have a point there.
It really does look like they were just starting out. And you said that people, like, I don't want to disparage them too much because, I mean, if you look at,
Well,
let's say Jazz's earlier stuff, it did kind of look like this. but he got better. He got way better.
Yeah, and I'm not
And
saying it's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just there's a lot that they need to learn from that I hope they do better in the next episode. Because I think another
Yeah,
thing
and I
is
mean-
that it looks like it was rushed.
Yeah, like do that right now. Like you can look at like Jazz's. He has a series called The Paladin. Look at the first episode, and then look at the last episode. Worlds of fucking difference right there.
My question is, how long did this take again?
Let me check real quick. Because I'll have to check between. Okay, so that was. And then his first video that announced it. Because he had an announcement video.
Yeah.
And I have to say that there was unnecessary hate for it. I don't think it was that bad. But I also think they could have done better.
And I also
I mean-
think
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree to that statement. Like, it's decent, but like, it's
It
not
doesn't-
well,
that great.
like I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, just look. I mean, for how the characters look, they look great. It probably took a while to draw these type of characters.
I'm 24. Whoever you are in the rabbit chat thing.
Okay. No, I think it looked decent. It's just I don't think the artists know how to work together. It doesn't seem like there was an art director, which in most studios you have a person who keeps you in line with the art style.
Yeah.
And so it didn't seem like they were able to be consistent.
What the fuck is that noise?
What noise?
That harpy noise. Harpish. I think it's coming from the rabbit site.
It's okay to go away from the rabbit site now.
Okay.
But yeah, when it comes to
Leave.
Chronexia, I think one of the biggest problems was the fact that they didn't know how to work together. It didn't seem that the work was distributed properly. It seems that they did it by camera movement distribution instead of by scene, which is what a lot of studios I've heard do. So instead of a person getting a whole scene to work on, they had bits and pieces, which then you saw the style change drastically. The shading changed drastically, which put the viewer off.
Yeah, you need
And also,
consistency.
that would have a lot of the issues with the sense of space in the area, because if they didn't communicate properly on what was going from one scene to the next, you get someone who ran in one direction and then like leaps to the other side of the area.
Yeah, and I definitely I think they need to learn more about film, just film in general, because it doesn't seem that they knew what the 180 rule is, or what basic direction is.
Out of curiosity, what's 180? If you might explain.
Huh?
If you might explain the 180.
The 180 rule means that you have two characters that you point the camera at, but you have to stay on that side of those people. So like let's say it's on one person's right and the other person's left. They're facing each other. You always have to stay on those two people's side. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you go to the other side of them suddenly, it's going to disorientate the viewer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so in film they teach you the 180 rule, because you shouldn't disorientate your viewer unless you purposely do it for like surrealism.
Yeah.
And so it seemed that they didn't know the basics to film, that they just kind of learned how to animate from like videos online, or they went to school for it but they didn't learn film basics.
Yeah.
So basically, all this really needs is a repolishing.
Yeah, and I think, again, I think it was rushed. I think either the guy who was the writer of it rushed it, or someone on their team rushed it. Because
I mean, I did see a lot of things that for beginning studio also weren't that bad. Like
oh yeah,
I do feel like they could do a lot better if they had the time, had the resources, and had the communication.
yeah, that's exactly how I feel too. I mean, that one scene where he's like, oh, and there's a fourth race, a goddess, and it shows her hair flowing. I was like, that's beautiful. And then next scene, it's copy paste on a book, and it's like,
One of these things is not like the other.
one of these animators is
All
not
right, I
the
finished
same.
watching it because I had the air conditioning guy come over. Yeah, it looks like they made this without a storyboard.
Yeah, I don't even it doesn't even
Like-
feel like they had a storyboard. Like, I think they had some really bad direction by like the
Okay.
art director
lot of-
or the director in general. I feel like they had terrible communication, as Chloe said, because from one scene to another, you have completely different camera angles,
Yeah.
which do not complement each other.
Yeah, it looks like they traced and smashed, like, made a hot DJ remix of a bunch of other scenes from other animes. Like, I swear there's some Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, there's some waterbending moves from Katara. Like, I don't know.
still am thinking about that guy in the window.
Right? And like, okay, so do you want to know something? Like, you know how at the end, Rhoda, how you were like, what the fuck? Why is this 25 years later? You never hear about those people you meet in the first half of the episode ever again.
Wait, what?
No, that was all a prequel. It's actually about their children going to like the Chunin exams.
What?
Then
Wait,
why
what?
have that?
I think it was just to explain the world. It was apparently it was like that in the book. The book was written like an anime. And
The book sounds like shit.
the book was written
Needless
as
exposition.
diary almost. This guy's diary.
This is like the anti-Avatar Last Airbender.
Yeah.
You know how, like, everything in The Last Airbender was basically told through subtext, like through the background, the surroundings, and everything? This is the opposite of that.
Yeah, pretty much. And now I want to go watch Avatar.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Katara actually expositions the beginning of each episode. Like 100 years ago, there was the Fire Nation attack.
And that's good
But-
exposition. It's not explaining too much. It's leaving enough for you to explore the world
It's a
on your
summary.
own.
It's literally the most basic explanation, just so that you're not like, what Firebender? What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, so like I think
Yeah.
if Avatar had said, here, the airbenders were a race of nomads, and blah blah blah, here are the firebenders, they were based on this, it would not make them as interesting.
But like instead, what they did was either they had you like Aang explain it to you, but not in one whole setting. You know, he would bring it out randomly throughout each
I love
season.
kitties.
Like, oh hey, I used to do this back in the old air temple and stuff like that. You learn through Aang experiences.
Yeah.
Like he
Ugh.
But with Chronexia,
Also, in the early on episodes, you have the interactions between. In the earlier on episodes, you get the interactions between Zuko and his uncle, which give you a bit more insight into the firebenders.
Yeah. definitely.
Like,
Yeah, we never get direct like, oh, my dad is a level 10 evil.
Yeah, we get his flashback to, oh crap, he just, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Avatar, but that one scene where his father basically burns his face, and through his
Oh
emotion.
Oh my god, you spoiled the whole series for me! you bastard.
Wait, you never seen Avatar?
I was joking, I actually have seen Avatar.
And so, it's through that scene where you see his emotion that you realize how crappy of a dad his father is. But with
Yeah.
if Chronexia had directed that, it would be, and my father, the most evil of them all. I despise him yet respect him. And this and that. And it would not give you the same amount of emotion. It's just this narrator who's disembodied and is distant from you. But seeing the emotion in the character, is what brings you to, I guess, relate.
Show, don't tell.
Show, don't tell. Exactly. America needs to
Maybe
learn
it-
this.
Maybe he drew this book for blind people.
America needs to learn it.
And I see it especially in American shows. I haven't watched that many from other countries yet, but I'm saying for specifically because Chronexia is an animation from America, and I've seen it in several American animations.
I mean, that's a thing you learn when just writing in general. If you have to tell your audience everything, like tell your reader exactly what you're trying to describe, you're not writing very well.
Yeah.
You can chalk that up to them. Like, for one thing, the guy who made it having too big of an ego. Like,
Oh, I can point out the most top 10 animes and the top waifus and the like.
and then like when he actually has to do it, it's like,
Oh wait, all this is cliche and tired and ugh.
Which I found really
I don't know
funny,
why
I
I'm
have to admit, is that it's this guy who
Censored.
studies anime for like his living because on Patreon he gets $3,000 a month just for making top 10s and now Chronexia.
Shit, I wish I could make 3K a month.
And
yeah.
all he can
For you
produce
guys, I'm
is
sorry.
cliches.
Yeah.
Not good cliches. Because you can
Yeah.
do cliches well. It's possible.
Yeah, it's like a lot, and like, the reason cliches become cliches is because we like seeing them, and so
Mhm.
we use them to death, and that's what makes them cliches.
Yep.
So it's
even-
not that cliches are necessarily always bad, but when you just sort of use them just because, then it sucks.
Again, this is like the opposite Last Airbender, because Aang is the chosen one. He's got his you got the idiot comic relief. You got the strong independent black woman, which is Katara.
I think
You got all
she's
these
actually
tropes,
Inuit.
but
The strong, independent Inuit woman.
yeah, well, they're made of Asian races, and they're dark enough.
Well,
They
yeah,
pass.
but they're based.
Your mom's
they're
a
based.
made-up Asian race.
They're based on actual tribes, though.
Yes.
Like the
I know,
Fire
but it's
Nation
like,
is based on Mongolian.
do not take It's
No, the Fire
literally-
Nation is based
it's
on
just like-
Japan.
And then the Air Nation is based on nomads, I believe.
Yes, the
monks,
Buddhist
nomads
monks.
of. Well,
Yeah.
Buddhist
I know.
monks
I'm
and-
just saying these tropes.
jeez.
Yeah, it's just like, but they're used effectively and intelligently in like The Last Airbender. There's always a reason for the behavior. It's just not like, oh, I act like this for no fucking reason.
Oh god, the melanin
Like
guy.
Katara, Katara, it acts like an adult because she had to grow up really fast. Her parents, were dead. Her mother died. She had to be the adult because her brother was an idiot at that time. So she had to take care of things. So that's where her personality came from. And you saw that again through flashbacks, through just like getting to learn about these characters organically throughout seasons. So like basically anything good in Avatar, reverse it, and you got this.
I
Chronexia.
I
And
could
not
go
only-
on for hours about all the amazing things that they put into the Avatar. Like honestly,
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a great show.
I love just about everything about that show.
It's a good series.
Yeah.
It's a solid series because they didn't patronize their audience.
Yeah.
Like they could be mature and adult.
And I think that's the thing about
Um,
Chronexia is that it's almost talking down to the viewer. Like,
Mhm.
you're
Hey,
so stupid you
you're
can't
too
understand these are elves.
Good shows
Pointy ears,
will
elf.
generally expect you to get what they're trying to say without outright saying it.
Mhm.
Something that really gets me was that scene where they're like, I really hate how elves are enslaved. And then they show
Yeah.
elves not enslaved, just just laughing and smiling at each other. And so it's like, which one
I
is
mean, they're-
right?
Is there
Mhm.
more to this?
But like, and it's like that could, like, yeah, like is there more to this? Because like, you know, with Avatar, we saw the characters really grow and change. In Chronexia, I doubt they do that, but I mean, they could. It might get better as it goes on. And also, like with the enslavement of the elves, I mean, there were free black men in the South. Just saying. I mean, maybe some of the elves are enslaved and some aren't, or maybe they're second class citizens, but they're not enslaved. Those particular ones aren't.
I mean, we saw the ones in the shackles who was just reading a book and looking sad, but then we
Chilling out,
also
acting all cool.
immediately
Till a couple of
got
guys came up
What
with
is it?
neighborhood.
we immediately got introduced to two elves who learned. It's like,
Yeah.
so it was kind of weird. Like, not the best way to do it.
I think something else.
Also, I said this.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I said this earlier, but like, again, if the elves are stronger, faster, smarter, why are they enslaved? Like, how did that happen?
I agree.
Because they're not stronger, faster, smarter. Fuck elves.
Wow,
Elves,
racist.
works race.
Hashtag you can't be racist against elves.
That's gonna happen in Will Smith's Netflix movie.
Oh my god,
right?
it's totally gonna happen.
But
There's gonna be hashtag all. I'm not even gonna say it, but
The trailer already made like a
Hashtag
Black Lives Matter joke. He's like, Pixie Lives Matter don't matter today.
yeah, I'm like not kind of. I'm looking forward to that series, and I'm also not looking forward to that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say, Basilisk.
I'm looking forward to it because Will Smith said like it's the only time I get to be racist. Because apparently in this fantasy world, it's like high elves are above normal humans, and then like orcs are below black people.
Look at what Fantastic Phoenix wrote in the voice chat below Basilisk comments.
Holy
Is there anything else anyone wants to comment on Chronexia?
No, I'm good.
Try harder next time.
Animation,
have a
writing, trash, storyboarding,
boneless
trash.
pizza, please.
Show didn't tell.
I have to say the voice
Well, I
acting
mean-
was pretty terrible.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You had a lot of different skill levels though, like different mics too.
Yeah, that's I think.
Like you
Yeah.
had your amateur wannabe anime voice actor who does the voice like. So we need to find the evil wizard and do the thing, and then like the MacGuffin, and like very monotone deadpan, like kind of forced public reading voice that you do when you have to read in front of the class.
Yeah. And then we had,
Instead of like a natural.
and then we had that guy who's Achilles. We have to go now. And it's like, oh, yeah. Well, she's a goddess. You don't know what she's gonna do. And it's like, oh god. It's not as bad as RWBY, but at the same time, it's almost up there. Because at least it didn't
Wait,
make me
RWBY?
scratch my ears out.
Wait, who's RWBY?
That
The
series.
the
Oh.
Rooster Teeth
Oh,
USA anime made by the dead Asian guy.
I'm saying
Monty.
that the voice acting
Yeah.
wasn't as bad as RWBY.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it bad in RWBY? I haven't watched
RWBY's
it.
voice acting is like it makes me want to scratch out my eardrums.
Ruby's got that like wannabe anime voice actor voices going
Yeah,
on.
it's
Like
very
RWBY's one of the. It's like
Forced monotone.
Chronexia in the way that you should not let your anime club make an anime.
I've tried watching it before and just couldn't.
I couldn't watch it just because like I got through I think the first and half of the second season and I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't take it seriously because it looked like all of those shitty Miku animations on YouTube.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah, it does look like that, doesn't it?
yeah.
I mean, I've seen like bits
Well,
and pieces of it.
If
but
they
not-
did not
enough
have
to, like-
Rooster Teeth's backing, that show wouldn't survive. But there were two factors into its success.
Let me find that.
One, weak trash, and two, Monty's death.
Let me find. I heard that RWBY stole assets,
Yeah, they do a lot.
Oh my god.
and
They
Do
steal
they?
a lot of 3D models.
Oh man.
Yeah, and like,
That's
and
not
actually, I
good.
think they stole some MMD models,
Mm-hmm.
and
MMD.
yeah, Miku Miku Dance Maker.
Oh.
Which is why it kind of looks terrible, is because they stole the models from Miku Miku Dance.
Oh
They
no!
stole all the animals,
Oh,
all the demons
no.
are stolen designs, but you can't
Oh,
criticize them
no.
because Monty's dead, and it's because it's difficult. Like it's the same thing with the whole the Dark Knight Rises with Heath Ledger. That movie was okay, but because Heath Ledger died, suddenly it's like the magnum opus
Yeah.
Batman movie.
It was an okay. I saw it for
Oh
the
yeah,
first
that
time
generally
last month,
happens.
and it was an okay movie. But it wasn't something that I think should have been, you know.
This is the best Batman movie ever because a guy died in it.
Alright. I'm gonna send some of the images so that I can hear
He
what
died in that movie.
you guys think about the
um,
stolen assets.
He died in that movie, and people think that's like the best movie ever, even though that was pretty much the only movie Brandon Lee ever did, because he's the son of Bruce Lee, and he's dead, and it fits into the whole.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Rises.
Right? No, Returns.
Rises. It has Bane in it.
No, that movie's terrible.
No, that movie is really good.
You need to watch the-
memes from 2012.
You need to watch The Dark Knight Returns, the animated adaptation of the Frank Miller comic. It's
Alright,
brilliant.
I added the image of the supposedly
The Dark Knight
stolen
Rises is better.
assets from RWBY.
I like how he finds a 14-year-old girl, and he's like, "Wear these panties for me and flip around." I'm like, okay.
Wait, what are we talking about now?
Frank Miller's Batman Returns. When he finds a new Robin.
Oh, okay.
So I sent
Yeah,
the images
it's like
of the
damn Batman, like it's
supposedly
creepy.
stolen assets that RWBY took.
And by supposedly you mean a fucking.
Yeah, I'm
stolen.
leaving it up for everyone else to decide, so I don't sound like an idiot.
Yeah, these are stolen. There's some slight alterations, of course, but yeah, these are the. It's tricky too because the problem with like 3D making stuff is the fact that if you can download it, it's yours to do whatever you want with. But it is kind of like really disrespectful because the people who made these models are not getting
Oh,
paid
absolutely.
for them.
This series is making
A
a
fuck
fuck
ton.
ton of money.
Like this series is so widespread that it has a fan base in Japan.
Well, I mean, it also has freaking Funko Pops that you can find.
It has Funko Pops, and I think RWBY is going to be in some type of fighting game this
no.
year. Yeah. Like a Japanese made, like she's going to be one of the fan decided, like, I want this character in this game.
Jeez.
So, yeah. I mean, I have two ways to look at it. Number one, I don't hate RWBY because I can appreciate garbage.
I don't hate RWBY either.
I
I
can
just think that they could have done better with the voice acting. They should have chosen voice actors that sound like someone's fingernails going against a chalkboard to me.
I think they were all, like, literally employees from Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, probably. And I also think that they could have done a slight better animation. I've heard that the newest season has better animation, but I have to still check. And I also think they could have done better with some of the story or dialogue.
I want to make my own shows. Ones that don't
That's
suck.
good.
Yeah.
You should join.
In order to not suck, you must suck a
You
lot.
should join. Cause whatever. Okay, Chronexia, whatever. Bad television.
Evil Rhoda, how old are you?
I am 204
24?
billion millennia young. 24.
Okay, another 24? Yes, another 24-year-old!
Wait, didn't we go through this earlier?
Did we? Because I don't remember. I have a goldfish memory.
I'm 19 with a mindset of a goldfish.
Anyway.
Who are you people?
Dev's just sitting there going like glub 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 glub. Fish flakes. Nom nom nom. Glub,
Did you
glub,
tour
glub.
out your voice because you sound different?
What is it?
Did you scream too much because you sound different?
I don't know. I always sound different because there are like 12 different fucking people up in this head piloting this goddamn meat slab. Or possibly 102. I don't know. I lost count.
Are there any other pieces of...
Okay.
And like, have you ever seen the movie Inside Out? It's like that.
Have any of you, do you have any have any recommendations to talk about, like, bad anime-wise?
Oh, yes. Neon Neko,
Oh
Sugar
my
Girls.
Genociber!
I love Neon Neko Sugar Girls so much, you have no idea.
MD guys.
Same here.
MD guys. MD guys. MD guys. MD guys is so bad, it's hilarious and great, and I love it.
It is.
It's amazing! Oh my gosh, you've seen it?
Yes.
Oh my god, Koi! I love you! Marry me.
Bad anime.
Hey, that's my wife.
Boro 2.
We can share.
No.
We can all share each other. We can all
We got like
participate.
2 minors here.
We can all participate in the infinite orgy of life!
No, I'm calling the police.
I didn't realize that we were doing kind of podcast.
All right, let's talk.
How to get arrested? How
What
to
is
by Evil
everyone's
Rhoda.
opinion on Moe? Moe anime. Moe?
I love it. I love it.
Define
Okay.
Moe.
I mean, you know.
More money, more problems.
God damn it. No, like those big eye cutesy animes.
I've never seen an anime entirely composed of Moe. It's always been like a side character.
I love it. I love it. It's trash, and I love
Yeah, I have
it.
to say I'm trash when it
When
comes
it's
to
one character-
television, so I can't have any really good decisions here. But
Give me some examples of Moe.
I'm just gonna go
I
to
think
Google.
Love Live is one of them. Is it?
Love Live?
Love Live.
Never watched it.
Never watched Love Live.
Never.
Have you ever seen?
Okay,
Me neither.
in the voice chat
'Cause I don't watch
linking some
anime.
quality Moe images.
In the voice chat?
Woo!
Oh my god!
That's beautiful.
Oh Jesus!
Okay, but these are some more recognizable one. What's this? Lucky Star?
Oh my god!
Oh, I've seen some of Lucky Star.
Dude,
Okay,
that's
this is
anime.
Moe.
My favorite character.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's Moe. It's like this overly cutesy, big-eyed, or as Tumblr, or that's not even Tumblr. I call it this pedo bait.
I kind of liked Lucky Star.
It's a funny show. It had like a lot of cultural. It's like an anime reference show. Basically, it's like the Big Bang Theory of anime, but good.
But good.
I was about to say the Big Bang Theory sucks, but okay.
The Big Bang Theory. I never
It's
seen
good.
it.
And I love it.
It's horrible. I hate every character. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes at a laundromat, and now I know why everybody hates it. All the characters are insufferable jerks.
I like it. I like this show.
I like Sheldon. He's my favorite character. He's the one that goes bazinga. I like how the where every 5 seconds there's a laugh track
Rhoda,
going
don't
on.
flip over the table, please. Think about the children.
What are the 2 nerds named? Sheldon and what else?
I don't have a table to flip.
Think about the children.
It's Sheldon and what? Nedwin?
And Sheldon too.
Also,
Sheldon 1 and Sheldon 2.
Also, why the fuck do all these TV shitcoms have an Indian character? Why? Where the fuck did this trope come from?
Black people are scary, first of all. And
Is this
like,
a new trope?
and Indian is like a compromise.
It's everywhere. I don't get it. What? Why?
Man, I just realized that there is a lot of shows where there's like a random Indian guy or Pakistani guy.
It's true.
My favorite show has to be Counter-Strike, the anime.
Pakistan is basically Muslim.
My
India
favorite part,
anyway.
my favorite character has to be that CT-sided with the op. He's my favorite character.
My favorite
Okay.
anime is Robot Chicken.
I know you're all being Gaylords, but like, I'm really hyped for the new episodes of Castlevania. Not gonna lie.
Oh, that's been a favorite of mine. It's
I
funny
heard
and
from a few
good.
people it's
never
disappointing.
watched it.
Wait, that
I want to play the video games because of it.
That's
It's disappointing 'cause
love
it's
it.
short. Like 4 episodes. Like that's
Yeah.
a bull.
Well, it was done by a very small studio, and they wanted to see how well it went over. And then within a month of it being released, they were like, "Yeah, we've got 8 more episodes in the running, you guys."
Thank God. Yeah.
all right.
Summary for that. Oh, it's the video game. Like summary is basically some dumbass kills Dracula's fucking waifu, and now they're all gonna die because dumbass felt the power of God like treble through his penis, and he's like, I gotta kill me some fucking super demon's wife for some dumbass reason.
Waifu.
So
Waifu for life.
let's talk about
I hate anime.
Yuri on Ice that won last year over Mob Psycho 100.
Oh my
I
god.
have
either.
not watched either of those
I'm gonna show you
shows.
some of
Me
the
neither.
the animation in Yuri on Ice was pretty terrible at times. It was pretty stilted.
Really?
It
Mob Psycho 100 is quite dope.
it has
not
some
gonna
really good
lie.
animation.
If the animation is consistent and decent,
Let me find.
the characters are
Is that like the Japanese slammer?
Yep.
Oh,
Here are okay. So ready? This won over Mob Psycho 100 for best animation.
I'm still loading.
Okay.
Still
This
loading.
one best animation
What?
over Mob Psycho 100.
Oh my god.
Is that like a long scene or is that an in between?
It's like this is like actually
Alright,
like
let's see this.
long scenes.
Like 6 seconds or something?
It's like I think so, like yeah, something like 6 seconds. Like it's showing for like 30 minutes. It's just people skating. There's no
Yeah, this-
dialogue. Just people skating like this, with these faces, with these in between frames, with these frames that are not in between frames.
I don't know much.
What the
Like, I
hell
haven't
is
seen it,
these
but I know it,
animation frames? What the
I don't know
hell?
much about Yuri Ice, but I know it probably was it like a voting
Yeah.
thing. Okay, yeah, it won because
Yeah.
of gay shit.
Let me find some Mob Psycho. I really liked Mob Psycho's animation because it followed the simple rules of animation rules that of squash and stretch, which a lot of anime doesn't do.
Also, they
not
did
only that,
flash
but it also
animation.
uses mixed media for usage of painting on glass
Yeah.
and
Yes.
of animation.
I
I know
think
what
the
about
new
this.
Berserk anime
Don't dare bring up
It's-
the new.
looks
No.
really good. It's really good.
What's
I
with-
think it's top notch and realistic.
What's wrong with Berserk?
Oh, they did the CGI
Don't even
animation with that. That
talk
was the
about the
complaint
newest
with that one.
Berserk. I can't. I'm gonna die. I will.
Don't
It is
die, I love
Best
you.
animation.
I found out that they would premiere like on TV they would show like the shitty quality animation, and then on the Blu-ray, which they jack up the prices to insane levels, they would actually have proper
Yeah, no, the
animation on top.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. Crappy. There are some moments that were like, what the hell? Get, please watch that opening.
I want to watch JoJo's so bad. I keep
It's pretty decent.
getting
It's
like
really
distracted.
decent. Like, I'm not gonna hype it up.
I think I've seen like 2 scenes that just made me feel like this is something I would enjoy.
I'm just gonna. I never seen JoJo either, but I'm
It's
going.
pretty good series.
Giant gay joke.
Ever seen JoJo's Bizarre
I
Adventure?
also have never seen JoJo.
We should marathon it today.
Like, I'm going to assume that the
No.
vampire guy had homoerotic relations with like this Joe guy. Like, he probably like has his body or something.
He has his.
Oh boy, you're in a wild
He has
ride
his
because
body.
damn.
Am I right?
Well, he has his body
No.
in a different way.
Okay, I'm gonna go through all my 24 experience of bullshit in comics and guess that
Just
He
watch
literally
the
He
has his
literally
body.
takes his body.
like
Dio
that's
Brando's
not his
head
body,
got,
is it?
Dio Brando's head gets chopped off within part 1 at the end. Thus, somehow later. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna stop.
That's some metaphorical gay shit.
Trust
Just
me.
jacking off somebody else's dude's dick all the time.
And
Dio Brando is the one that just like you'll hate him.
Every time I hear Dio, I keep thinking of like Blue from House of Imaginary Friends.
Oh.
I'm unhappy now.
But yeah, I skipped to the relevant bit for you.
I don't understand this part.
Welcome to fanfiction.net.
I never seen that video really, but nor do I even have an interest.
Yeah, Jello Apocalypse they're like cool people, but at the same time, I hate following them on Tumblr.
Wait, what?
The guy who make the Welcome to series,
Yes?
they have a Tumblr.
Oh,
Yeah, Jello.
I did not know that.
But they're pretty much your like typical SJWs.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's funny, right?
Oh, man.
Considering what they make.
I hate that.
Also, the guy, like the main guy, his favorite movie is like Zootopia because he thinks it's so woke and so vague.
I
I'm
love
like-
Zootopia too. It's a great movie,
not just
but I
because
mean,
it's woke.
It's a well-made movie, but it's not so woke and it's not so vague. It's kind of
Okay, I want to say I love Zootopia, but
get it? The lions are black and Muslims.
what I have to say, like,
no,
okay.
it's not. Go ahead.
When I first saw Zootopia, I was pissed off at Judy because she expected to be like a detective at first. When the fact of the matter is that I knew, as someone who was interested in the police force at some point, that you always start out as traffic.
Yeah, you're not
And it
gonna
pissed
start
me
out
off.
big.
Okay, that's it. That's all that pissed me off about that movie.
You gotta remember that she's a stupid rabbit.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
that's
Did that
rude.
movie teach you nothing?
No,
That
it
is
just
racist.
it reinforced my speciesism.
There is nothing wrong with bunnies.
Bunny girls are best girls.
But it's
They
Well, like-
produce too much. They rely on welfare.
Wow, racist.
Wow.
but like
Hey,
Man, I predicted that movie
This
like
is-
6 months in advance. I like literally went on the trailer and be like, Jeep is the enemy. Why? Because everyone expects it to be the lion, and this is Pixar or Disney or whoever, and they like fucking with you, but in very obvious ways.
but it doesn't really translate specifically to any sort of racial problem. The whole movie is about prejudice in general, and it does a very good job of examining prejudice because it sort of leaves behind the baggage of
That is the accurate interpretation. Because I've seen both extremes say the exact same thing, but they're opposite versions.
yeah,
Okay.
because like it sort of leaves behind the baggage of real life history and real life prejudices, and so it can focus on prejudice more in a more
Abstract way.
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because I remember when this first came out, they're like, oh my god, the exact same thing, except like, oh my god, the predators are white people.
Yeah, and
Because in the movie, you know how they say like, oh, predators are the smallest part of the population, but they run everything, right? They're the mayors or the police. They're like, they run everything.
which is bullshit.
And like, but the rest of us, who are the majority, which is like everyone else, don't. I'm like, and I literally, people said the same thing. It's like, they didn't get it at all, basically. They put their own bias on top of it. They put
a herbivore was fucking chief of police. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's kind of terrifying that in the Zootopia universe, there was apparently a time where the predators literally ate the other animals.
I
What?
mean, we probably murdered each other, pre-learning to not be jackasses.
Yeah, but it's like, and we also probably practice cannibalism there too. But like in this universe, it's like especially hilarious because it's like, oh no, there's like paintings of a lion eating sheep, like tearing out their throats and devouring them, like somewhere in the museum. Like, what do they eat now? Like,
It's a good
any
question.
food?
You never see them get you never see the predators get food.
No. I assume it's lizards because they only like anthropomorphize mammals,
Oh
so
my
like
god,
maybe
that is such a
reptiles
good
are
point.
the main food.
Who do they eat? If they're carnivores.
Yeah, and they're not allowed to eat each other.
I know, in the Pokemon world, they eat fucking Pokemon, so who knows?
They just eat vegetable.
Well, Zootopia and Pokemon.
There used to be normal animals in the Pokemon universe.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Rid of
Here's the
them
theory.
completely.
They eat vegetables, but not the kind that are grown in the ground.
What?
No.
Pokemon?
Zootopia. The carnivores eat vegetables, but not the ones we would think of.
They eat animals that have been basically made brain dead.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yes, we all got it, and we're all unhappy about it.
Oh god, what do they call those in police nuts?
I wasn't happy having that.
My favorite character in that.
You guys ever play Police Nuts? Oh man, good game.
My favorite character in Zootopia was the sloth. He was the best.
My favorite character in Super Mario World has to be Luigi.
That's kind of out of nowhere.
This is going to bother me now. Let me look that up.
My favorite Goku character is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Dude, same. My favorite Sonic the Hedgehog character has to be Cold Steel.
Yeah. My favorite DC character is Captain Underpants.
Same.
Hell yeah.
My favorite Marvel character. My favorite Mario character.
I haven't
has
seen
to
it
be
yet, I'm so
Sonic the
mad.
Hedgehog.
I still have not seen that movie. I'm so mad.
Me neither. And like Captain Underpants is the only book series I have ever read.
Oh.
Like the only
I'm
book.
somewhat
I have
sane.
never read anything else.
You gotta read Red Ball.
And Super Diaper Baby.
Red Ball. It's a good.
Yeah. I tell people that and they're like, that explains so much about you. I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm so smart.
Biomort. Okay.
I wasn't
That's what they call
tainted by
them,
Harry Potter.
Biomort.
Oh, I had the hiccups. Someone scare me, please.
Who?
No.
Okay, you scared me enough.